I open the door, scared, not knowing what I'm going to find next. I make sure I have my shoes on because last time I stepped into a puddle of water and found a bunch of hair on the bottom of my foot. I make my way over to the sink and I make sure that I have my hand towel to cover the countertop, just in hopes that it'll protect my toothbrush from any straying germs. Then I make my way over to the shower, grab it with 2 fingers the most and yank it open to find a yellow-pink mildew stain in the left corner and hair that's probably been in the drain for about 3 weeks now. This is my everyday experience in my dorm bathrooms. What many of you do know is just the simple cleaning habits that can help prevent these things from happening. But what my job here is to inform you of just how dirty the certain parts of the bathroom are, like the sinks, the showers, and the toilets. Then explain how you can prevent most of these things from happening. The first thing I like to talk about are the sinks. What many people don't realize is that the sinks are full of bad germs. And according to Simon College, they put on an experiment to characterize and qualify bacteria in common places of the bathroom and found that sinks were one of the highest ranked because we touch it. That's one of the places that we constantly touching because that's where we wash our hands, wash our face, and brush our teeth. What would shock most of you is that a scientist from the University of Arizona named Enrique found that fecal coliform bacteria, which is a bacteria that's found in the human intestines, and it's a sign of disease-causing pathogens, was not found on the actual toilet seats, but it's found on the sinks. And the certain ways to prevent this is by buying antibacterial wipes and just wiping down the surfaces of the sink. Another way is from keeping the bad bacteria off of the sinks is by keeping the sinks dry, just because bacteria loves wet surfaces and that's what they live off of. And another way to keep the bacteria off of the countertops is by not using sponges, just because that's a paradise for a bacteria, just because it supplies it with nutrients and moisture. So by staying away from sponges and by using using wipes and keeping the countertops dry, you'll prevent the sink from getting any bad coliform bacteria. The second thing I like to talk to you about are the showers. I don't know about you guys, but showers are where I go to escape, to clean off my body, and I've lost that feeling for it. I find myself doing all kinds of yoga positions, trying not to touch the walls, or trying not to touch any sides of the walls. Especially after finding out about a new study that University of Colorado did. These researchers analyzed 50 shower heads in 9 cities in several states, and found Mycobacterium avium, a pathogen that can infect people with a weak immune system and occasionally people with healthy immune systems. These pathogens would team up with water and create a really slimy biofilm and attach to the shower head, which would later end up on your body. Another interesting fact is that loofahs are a lot like sponges. I use loofah just because I don't like to use my hands when I'm washing my body, and it's also easier for the soap to, I don't know, it's just easier. And they're just a lot like sponges. I brought this sponge in from my dorm sink. It's disgusting. It smells really, really bad. There's just a bunch of dirt in here, and there's really no way to get this stuff off. But some of the ways to prevent your loofah from becoming dirty, and so that you don't have to go to the store every single week or so, you can just put it in bleached water for 15 minutes or so, and do that every other week, and you'll be fine. Another way to keep the shower heads from getting microbacterium is by making sure the shower head is metal and not plastic, and also by scrubbing them every week. going to Walmart and getting the foaming disinfectant spray and making sure that they don't have any of the gross biofilms. All right, the third thing I'd like to talk to you about are the toilet seats. Did you know that according to Aaron Hobday, a writer from Men's Health, said that there are 1,180 bacteria per 100 square meters on just the rim of the toilet, and on the flush handle there are 510 bacteria per 100 square meters. That's nuts, and that the average person flushes the toilet 3,250 times a year, and that's a time where you don't have time to go wash your hands and then flush the toilet. So you really should wash your hands. I know this is like first grade stuff, but that's people doing their business, and then they flush, and then you go and do the same thing, and then you don't wash your hands. Now, not only do you have your germs, but you have the person before you. A prevention, according to Philip Torino, an MD and an author of The Secret Life of Germs, talks about how the stall furthest away from the door is the cleanest, or is the dirtiest, and the stall closest to the door is the cleanest. And some ways to prevent the messy toilets that spray, you should put the top down, or if you're living in the mods, just flush the toilet and run. We can also take it upon ourselves to wipe down some of the areas that we know that we touch the most in the stalls, using simple disinfectant wipes in Walmart. As a final point, by doing these simple things like cleaning certain areas with disinfectant wipes and making sure that the areas are dry will help you live a happier and healthier life.
Okay. Rose. Think about those showers. Okay, let's give Ellise some feedback, starting with strengths. What went well?
Everything.
What?
There was someone out
Someone out there?
there.
Jay.
Was. And they left.
She made it relatable to all of us.
Yeah, very relatable topic. Everybody knows what she's talking about. Yeah.
Oh, this name says